We got a pretty cool day here set up here. I'm kind of disappointed because I planned on actually going horizontal style for y'all here, but I had some issues with. I literally I was getting ready to get started and I got hit with a Windows update. So it is what it is. We reverted back over to the vertical style. I will be doing more live streams. Oh, excuse me. Get out of here, string. More live streams in our horizontal, so we can have a little bit larger here. I know it's difficult, especially when you hop on YouTube proper to come out here and see what's going on in the greenhouse here, and you have to, deal with me this big. So I apologize. Working on it, but again, we make it work here. We don't try to stress about too much stuff here. For those that don't know, my name is Ryan. I have a garden here in northern Michigan. This is my greenhouse. And we come here live pretty consistently throughout the spring and then throughout the summer into the fall to talk all things gardening, work on those things, either my vegetable garden or with my flowers. So, a couple days ago, we were doing a live stream here where I was setting up, just kind of testing out and getting a feel for my grow lights that we got from Amazon. So if you want to go check that out, they're pretty cool little setup. They're not that expensive, little LED lights, but they're the natural light settings here. And then we did that in preparation for starting some of our seeds, which we will be starting. I have some of those here that we're going to be looking at starting here probably this week, probably soon. And those include just our black seeded Simpson lettuce here. We got some burpee bib, so this is like a butter mescaline, because we all love this one. This is just great to throw in the salads. And then because of how much rice I have pretty consistently now, we're going to drop some coriander in there because we want to grow coriander for the leaves, because the leaves are cilantro. Coriander is the seed itself, and cilantro are the leaves, for those that didn't know that. All right, so today I got some seeds in, which were pretty cool. I didn't bring them out here, which I thought I did, but I didn't. They were the one thing I have. They are, what are they called? It used to be called Indian corn, but that's not the right phrase for them. They're basically jeweled corn, so it's the multicolored corn. I'm going to be growing that this year along with my sweet corn. So I'm pretty excited about that. Got those seeds, but then this is the big boy that we got in from Amazon here. So I'm sorry that it's flipped the other way. That's why I wanted to do horizontal, so it wouldn't be reversed for y'all here. But this is from Organo Republic, and I want to go over this entire set that we got here for our seeds, because what interests me about this, and I got this off of Amazon. Welcome everybody who's hopping in the chat there. Hey, what's happening, Trixie? Appreciate y'all swinging by here. I saw this on Amazon and I just wanted to check it. Like, man, then I have my seeds, but I was like, I'm never gonna not take a look and give this a shot here. They weren't too expensive. I think it was $20 some odd for, and this is the number they have here: 35,630 seeds. That's how many are in this thing. That's quite a few. I don't think I'll be using all those, but you can see we got the laundry list here. And again, this is from Amazon. And we're going to kind of talk through a little bit what's in here. Well, what I thought was pretty interesting, though, if you look right up in there, it actually comes with planting tools, mini garden tools inside. So I have no idea what that is. I don't know what it looks like, but we're going to check it out a little bit. Oh, yes, please sub to me. Absolutely. For those who haven't subbed, please sub. I come here live pretty much, for those that weren't here at the beginning, I come here live pretty consistent throughout the spring, and then into the spring, in the fall, and then obviously throughout the summers we're working on stuff. So yeah, please subscribe. Make sure you give a like. We love those. And then ask any questions. That's the other thing too here that I always want to have with anybody who's hopping on the channel here and seeing what we're doing. We ask questions. I'm a business coach by trade. I am not a gardener. I don't do this for a living. This is purely just me, who comes out here live, and I like to share all things gardening. And so like right now we're in my greenhouse, which is in northern Michigan, and it's 70 in my greenhouse right now. It's a solid, I think it's 40 degrees outside right now. This is the southern side. You can see the light pouring through here behind the bubble wrap. And then everything else that I have here is insulated with thick foam. So we are going to be getting stuff growing here soon. Going to get it planted and get it started. It's going to be great. So let's get into this thing here. The first piece here. So again, this is, I wonder where these guys are out of. Let's see what Maxim, there's a guy in the back here, just before we open this up. Let's read what this has to say back here. Here, get a picture of the dude. There he is right there. Look at him, got a whole thing, got a whole veritable cornucopia of stuff here. Let me get my old man glasses on so I can read this. Because, I mean, I'm old, it is what it is, right? All right, so Organo Republic is more than just a brand. It's a heartfelt idea. We strive to help people become healthier while protecting our planet for future generations. We source the best quality non-GMO heirloom seeds from sustainable U.S. suppliers, testing for high germination so you can experience the joy of growing a bountiful garden. Our mission is to create a positive change in the face of ecological concerns like global warming, water usage, and soil health, which is something we talk about soil health constantly on this channel. We are all about it. I have cover crops that are going on in my garden right now. I have composting that I do specifically to make sure that we're getting fresh, the right bacteria, and the good bacteria in there. We look at the soil. We try not to till as much as possible. You got to turn the soil sometimes, it happens. But we try not to till, and no pesticide. I don't use any pesticides, so we are all about just being, making sure things are safe here. All right. Let's see here. With every pack of seeds, we aim to touch hearts, inspire minds, and positively contribute to your and our planet's well-being. Thank you for choosing Organo Republic and joining us. That's pretty nice. Some of the things that they, high germination rate, heirloom and non-GMO, fresh seeds for sure, innovative packaging, sourced in the USA, and community trusted. So anyway, they got all sorts of good stuff in here. So this is the most popular vegetable seed pack that they have. And it's 55 different seeds. So let's go through this here. We're gonna crack it open. So what do you guys think we should look at first? Let's look at the tools first. Hopefully they're right at the top. So there you go. You guys can hear that. There we go. Get that ASMR stuff going on. Okay. Oh, well, looks like we're gonna be getting into the seeds first. Man, they got a ton in here. So, you see, this is really nice packaging. Look at this. I can't believe how much, and of course there's bok choy right off the bat. This is some good stuff. By the way, bok choy, be very careful about planting it in your garden. It doesn't play well with everything else. That's the one thing I know. So this has to, I have a different container that I actually use to grow my bok choy. It just doesn't play well with others. So just keep that in mind if you ever want to plant it and grow it. So, but I want to look at the tools first. So I'm going to clear this space off right here. I'm going to flip this guy upside down. So that doesn't want to, no, that's not what I want. You guys could hear that too, right? That was getting ready to be a mess. We don't want that. So let me do this over here. We're gonna come over here. Let's make a little trip here. See if I can get you guys down here so we can see this as we're breaking this out here. All right, so what I want to do is we're gonna put the seeds over here. We're gonna take a look at them all individually, but I want to get to those. Do I have to censor that on this channel? I'm just curious. Well, no, probably not. Okay. These are this packaging is really nice. Really nice. Oh, they got peas. I've got to, by the way, make sure you stick around. Keep checking back in as we're working on stuff here. We got the tools here. We're gonna get the rest of the seeds out. I have an innovative way that I do my peas every year. So I think you guys will want to check that out. The way that I grow them. So for those that don't know, we've got a lot of wind going on today. That's what's happening. No, for those that don't know, I have a 50 by 25 garden. It's pretty decent size. It's not too crazy, but it's definitely, it's more than enough that I need to provide for the year for my family. So, but I like to do peas and other stuff. Mainly I have the peas so I can snack on them during the year. So, okay, so let's take a look at these little garden tools that comes with. So, garden tools, and then what does it come with here? It says it's got a tweezers, a seed dibbler. Ooh, I got a dibber tool. I love these things. You'll see it here. Weeding fork and widger tool. Widger. All right, and then leaf clipper. This is pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so here's the leaf clipper. I think pretty straightforward on this guy. Okay, go in there and just do a little pruning. All right, now this is hands down one of my favorite tools for the garden right here. You guys can see that too well. So the way that this works, it has on the ones that you get from like the store or whatever, but you use this basically to meter down. You can't really see it on here, but on this part right here, they have centimeter marks. And then on this side, they have freedom units. And what that is for, they're going to say on the seed pack how far down you should put your seeds. That's what that's for, is to be able to put down and pop the little hole in there. They have the same thing here. So it's in centimeters and then freedom units for those of us in America that don't do the whole centimeter thing. Okay, and then got this thing. It's again, this is the weeding fork and widger tool. So you use this to lift out seedlings. Never had to use that before. And then we got this guy right here, which will definitely be used. I use one of these. I have a separate one that I use, but I use this with when I'm working with my seeds, because especially if you've ever grown petunias, like petunia seeds are tiny. They're just specks, and you'll lose them. So heck, I even use toothpicks before, just to touch them and to put them in the spots where they need to go. So it's just one of the things to keep in mind here. So yeah, cool. Got the tools here. I'm going to put these right back in the bag here so I know where they're at. I think this weekend we're also going to come in here and do a little bit more organization in the greenhouse. As you can see, I've got, I still have a lot of stuff that I've got to reorganize here and get ready so we can start planting. But definitely want to get in here probably, and so we'll be live doing that one as well. Anytime I'm in here, I just like to go live and check it out. So if you haven't hit your notifications, please do, so you know when we're getting there. All right, so let's start taking a look at these different seeds that they got. Now we'll start with the old eggplant here, the old Black Beauty, right, that they have here. And that's approximately 200 seeds. So that's crazy. All right, so on the back here, let's kind of go over what they have on the back here. All right, we'll go over this together. So they're going to, on the top, they explain exactly what you're going to get. You know, eggplants are typically a large and oval shape with smooth, glossy texture, slightly bitter taste, and a creamy texture when cooked. Right, so they explain exactly what it is in case you've never had it before. So this is important. And then we have, make sure you're in camera there. So it gives you basically when to start, when to move outside, and then it gives you kind of a little color coding to figure out where the heck you're at. Different temperature guide for when they need to be at. And they got full, I love this, they got the full growing guide, so if you want to use a QR code to get it, and then let you know basically how to manage them for best health here. So so if you're getting it, if you want to get into gardening, what I tell you is like, try not to overthink it. People who get into gardening, they immediately try to go all in and try to figure out, just start with something simple, something that, you know, you're going to have and enjoy quickly. So I always say, start with some basil. You can always just pick up tomatoes. Tomatoes are cake, and they're really good, especially tomatoes, because they're not, tomatoes like to be abused. They really do. They grow well, they fruit well, regardless kind of how you treat them. So start with something simple and just give it a test drive. Specifically, let's say you don't have a lot of space. Find things you can use on a container that you can just stick out on your, like if you have a deck or a little balcony that you can just put out. Just grow something simple and give it a try. You know, things like eggplant, so it'll tell you how big this ends up being. So for instance, on the back for eggplant, it likes basically moderate amount of water. It likes full sun, so it needs to be in the full sun, and it lets you know that this needs basically 18 inches of space, so 1.5 feet. That's what you're doing. You know, it's going to grow up obviously, but it needs to be 18 inches across. So you're not dealing with anything that's going to take up a bunch of space. It'll probably be a little picky because it is eggplant, but you know, just take a look at and start growing something that you like. All right, so the other piece that we're going to be working on here is thinking about the things that we can start early to start in here that I want to grow. So we have cress, right? So if you're familiar with this cress, watercress. It's the thing with cress. It's a lettuce. You use it in salads. It's got a little peppery bite to it. That's what you have here. And this really likes. Now for this one, let's see for temperatures here. Keep it 65, and this likes warm weather. So this is not an early one. Our next one we have here is again going to be our cucumbers that we have here. Now these are for slicing and pickling, and they'll tell you whenever you get cucumbers, what they're good for. So like on this in the back here, one of the things it says specifically is that these marketer cucumbers are long and slender with a dark green skin. They have a crisp texture, mild, refreshing taste. We love that for cucumbers. They are commonly used for slicing and for pickling. So this is a good salad one, and also if you want. Right? But really, when it comes to these, they're going to tell you pickles like hot weather. They like it warm. So unless you're in a spot where you can have it warm or you can maintain the heat, like in here, you got to wait a while to do that. All right, so the next one here is going to be Boston pickling. This is another cucumber variety, and this is a small crisp one, and it's basically for pickling. I like to use pickling ones in salads, in a tomato salad mixture where there's no lettuce. It does. I make it almost like home style, where it's really thick and crunchy. So I like to use those there. The pickling ones for that extra crunch. I think it just adds a little goodness to it. All right, so this is Golden X Bantam F1. That's an awful lot of words for just saying sweet corn. Now, sweet corn on this one in particular, what I like about corn is, you have to have space for corn. You can't just plant a few of them, like 3 or 4. It's a row crop, and it's designed to be grown in in a section. So you've got to have 4 rows of them. You got to be doing 20 to 24 plants. So you got to make sure you have room for them because they need that much space, and they're also thirsty. The more water you can throw on corn, the better. Oh, got carrot here. So we got this next one is going to be carrot. I love these. I love the drawings on these. They're just so cool. So this one here is short and stout, broad-shouldered carrots, easy to pull. So these are 5 to 6 inches, and these are ones that I would be using pairing up with my Brussels sprouts. This is exactly what I would be growing to pair with my Brussels sprouts and roast those in the oven, along with some garlic, a little olive oil, a little salt, pepper, all the good stuff. Then you got this one, Scarlet Nantes, which is quick growing and crisp. These are the ones that are 7-inch long, so these are pretty lengthy ones. These are the ones that you would typically have if you want to do some market carrots, where you want to keep everything in there. And for those, I bet you the leaves and the stems on those make a great pesto if I was going to put that together. All right, so bok choy, like we talked about before, bok choy, I really like it. My wife and I, we do a lot of Japanese cooking, and bok choy is just great in anything that you're going to be stir frying. Really good in ramen as well. So, all right, so that's the first little group of them there. So that's pretty cool. What else we got here? It's got radishes. Got a radish here. So I grow radishes for my mom. I don't like radishes. They're not really my favorite. I don't really like the, whatever you want to call that. What's that? See, not even the peppery, but that horseradishy stuff that comes out. I'm not a big fan of it. So my mom, she really likes radishes. So I grow radishes, and she comes and picks them. Ooh, yum. All right, so this is one of my favorite things to grow out here. Grow the pumpkins. I love growing pumpkins. Specifically on these pumpkins because I can make a nice soup out of them. I can roast them and then make a nice pumpkin soup. It's so good. And these are, but the thing is, whenever you have pumpkins, the thing you got to remember is that pumpkins require, you need to make sure if you're going to try to grow these for flavor, basically to eat them, you need to make sure you get a sugar, basically a sugar variety, which is pumpkin pie. This, what is it called? The sugar pie. See that name on there? So you want to make sure that if you do get pumpkins and you want to grow them to eat them, right, for soups or for pumpkin pie or whatever you want to have, make sure that they are a sugar variety. Otherwise, they're better. They're really kind of just stringy, gross, and nasty. Okay. Sweet bell peppers next. Peppers, just FYI, these are a perennial. If you grow peppers and you want to put them in a container, you can regrow the same plant every year. You just got to trim it down and turn it into sticks, cover it up, and winterize it. And then next year, in the following year, when it warms up, just put it back out in the sunshine and some water, and it'll do its thing. So just FYI. Hot peppers. I'm going to grow these this year. I'm going to grow them in here. These are going to be our cayenne peppers. We're going to be growing a bunch of these cayenne peppers in the greenhouse this year. That's going to be delicious. And of course, next we got our jalapenos, right? Jalapeno as well. Don't know if I'm going to grow jalapenos, just to be honest. They, I will have the regular cayenne pepper, but I don't think those, mainly just because I use the cayenne peppers in more cooking than I do jalapenos. So Now this one, on the other hand, I will definitely want to try to figure out at some point, which is going to be this poblanos. One of my favorite chilies. They're so good. This the poblano, it's just so good, so good. Make a nice little salsa verde out of them. It's just put it on stuff, just fantastic. Okay, so now here, this is going to be another pumpkin variety that we're going to grow here, which is going to be this Connecticut Field. Now, with this one, this is a larger. This is going to be a larger one here, and this one technically, I think it says on here you can use it for pumpkin pie, but I will not, for to eat. I'm going to use this one solely for decoration and for carving. So we're going to have 2 types of pumpkins going here. All right, next is going to be our red burgundy. We got our red onions is in this pack as well. So onions up here, we can do them. I have wild onion and garlic that grows in my property. It's all over the place. So when I need onion, I can just go out and go grab it during the spring into the summer. However, I do want to get practice on starting some onions in here as well, mainly just because I'd like to have a bit more variety out of my garden right now. I'm a little worried about last year. It was kind of narrow on what I grew, and I want to really expand that out onto different varieties just to help with the soil health. Like, that's the main thing. We also have plenty of what am I thinking here? Sulfur in the ground here, so that they'll do fine. Same thing here. We got some more onions here. These sweet. I don't think I'm going to do these ones this year. I may try them just to see, but more than likely not. Okay, so here's one of my least favorite root here is parsnips. They're not bad, but man, they're just not. You got to be in the right mood. What I like with parsnips, I like to pair them with like a steak and some sort of heavy vegetable, like a leafy green vegetable, something to counteract the parsnip type here. They're like carrots that, kind of gave up. Best way to say it. Leeks. So leeks, we actually grow wild out here in Michigan. Leeks out in the forest. I can just go find these. So I don't really grow these. But if you haven't had leeks, if you do like onion, they're just a light version of onion, and they fry up really well. And they do they're kind of like your first start towards shallots, right? If you can't find shallots, go with leeks. If you want leeks and you can't find them, go with shallots. Kind of I'm gonna say they're interchangeable, but they're both gentle in that way. Delicate in that way. So this is okra. I'm not growing okra up here. It's just not one of my favorite things. I used to have fried okra when I'm in the South, of course, because that's what you do. Okay, butter crunch. I actually have a ton of seeds for butter crunch for this lettuce. I really love growing this butter crunch. It basically the juvenile version of this vegetable of this lettuce is really good. You can just cut the whole thing off. It makes a really good salad. It's a good foundational lettuce for that. It's really good. What is this? Mache corn salad. I have no idea what this is. So we're gonna read about this one here. Because I have no idea what this is. It's a small, tender salad green with a spoon-shaped leaves, mild and nutty flavor, often used in salads or as a garnish, grows in compact rosettes multiple times throughout the season. Cool. And it's early, so it's April. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I might even try. You know what? I might even start these little. I'm gonna add this to the give it a try pile here. So we're gonna start those as well. That's the other thing I'm looking for, is things that I might want to start a little early here. Ooh, this one we're gonna start early for sure. Good old romaine. I can get that started and have that living its best life here in the greenhouse. So we're definitely doing that. Romaine is gonna also make the cut for later this week when we start planting. And again, just as a reminder, so when I'm doing my planting here in the greenhouse, especially when it comes to like my lettuce greens and stuff, we're gonna plant a couple rows of each. Let them do their thing. We're gonna wait. 2 weeks. I might even make it shorter. I might wait a week. Wait a week. Start the next one, and then every basically 10 days after that, start another round of lettuce. So, and we'll do that all throughout the season. So I'll constantly be starting lettuce. So I have fresh lettuce coming up that I just slice and do its thing until I get to a certain point, and then I can just keep trimming the lettuce, and it'll keep growing. All right. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, we got collard as the next one in the patch here. So again, for those that are just joining, we're here in the greenhouse. I got this pack of 55 seeds from Amazon, this guy right here. and we are just kind of going through. Sorry, it's reverse. I was saying I might add a camera situation, so need to work that through. But anyways, got our collard here. Won't be. This is a brassica. So again, for those that don't know, brassica, it's in your cauliflower, your broccoli, it's your Brussels sprouts, Swiss chard. Collard is also a brassica. It's basically the exact same plant, just different versions of it, right? They're all the same plant, and this is one of those. So, but I don't really like collard, but we might give it a try this year just to see. Okay, we got turnip. Turnip I may actually grow, but not in. I don't know if I'm gonna start it in the greenhouse. I may start it in the greenhouse, but there's a few areas in my there's a few areas I kind of want broken up around the house that no matter what I do with them, I just can't seem to get them to get the right organic matter in there. The clay just wants to do its thing. So I may actually start planting some things like this in there, let them grow, let them die, just to get more organic put in there. Just do it the natural way instead of tilling it up, mixing a whole bunch of crap in there, and then crossing my fingers. So, man, that wind is kicking out there. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. So, hopefully, again, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, I hope I earn your subscription today. I come out here live in my greenhouse, my garden throughout the year. So definitely hope to earn your subscription here, especially if you like gardening. Hop on here, ask any questions you may have. I may not have the answer, but folks in the chat may have it. So next thing we got here, another carrot. Lots of carrot options in here. It's interesting. We're gonna get to tomatoes in a second here. I just kind of get through here. Ugh, ooh, boo, red cabbage, boo. It's good if it's if you ferment it. You know, you basically turn it into like a sauerkraut. It's not too bad. This is also pretty good if you stir fry it. But growing it, so there's certain vegetables that while you can grow them, you absolutely, and if you can't, by all means do. You know, I never tell anybody not to grow anything, but it's also like, hey, what's worth the time and energy for you? You know, so there's certain things that just aren't worth it to me, and cabbage is one of those things. It's cheaper just to run down to the store and grab one. They don't take up a lot of space. Oh, wait, here we go. This is one of my favorite things to grow in the garden, Brussels sprouts. They are delicious. You know, we get to a certain age and you're like, man, Brussels sprouts are good. You just got to get old, I think. But they are and they're a brassica, just like we were talking about with previous ones here. They're a brassica. And what's great about Brussels sprouts is you can trim off Brussels sprouts. I got 2 harvests. I probably could have got a third if we hadn't got bombed with like negative, like we had 0-degree weather. It just came out of nowhere in December and smoked my Brussels sprouts. They survived down to like 20 degrees with like no problem. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Even my kale was kicking down to, you know, below 20. But we came through and got bombed. I could have got a third harvest on these if we hadn't got hit with that weather. So I love bringing some Brussels sprouts. They're really good. Oh, okay. So we got spring rapini. So this is it's basically, how do I say it here? It's broccoli. It's that weird looking broccoli with all the weird spinnerets on here. It's meant to be a, how do you want to say this here? It should be used like a green, like you'd use a spinach, or I don't want to say it like a broccoli, but I would definitely be using it more like in that world where it would be something you would saute up and use it that way. I've never grown it. It may make the list this year. Okay, broccoli, yet another brassica. We love brassicas up here in the north. Because they do so well. Broccoli is definitely on the list. We're gonna have a bunch of it this year. My cauliflower last year did pretty good. It looked pretty gross. Don't get me wrong, but it was actually pretty good. I know it's weird to say that, but it's just cauliflower. When you're watching it grow, you never really know when it's done. It's just one of those things, and then you blink, and all of a sudden it's flowered. So, artichokes. Artichokes are great. They're one of these things that are like they're a lot of work. A lot of work for a small payoff. When it comes to like the artichoke hearts, but also with the leaves. But they give you something to kind of chew on, which is the other thing which is nice, because they got when you pull the leaves off, they just got that little bit at the bottom, which is delicious. We got some more beets here. Beets. If you heart healthy stuff, right? And what's also nice is beets are going to be on the list for early season crops for me. Anything that is how do I want to say this here, is cold hardy, like beets. So, basically most of the thing you want to get is below ground. we're going to be growing a bunch of those this year, and beets is definitely on the list. Okay, next up is going to be our Bush variety beans that we got here. We're going to be growing some beans. Man, I tell you, I just enjoy having beans around. One, because they're really good for the soil, right? They're nitrogen fixers. For those, and if you aren't familiar with that, they have these nodules down in the roots that they take nitrogen. They take nitrogen from the air, the N2, bring it down, do their thing with it, turn it into N4, which is what plants need in order to, what the bacteria need in order to process their food, right? So that's a good stuff there. Arugula, you already saw arugula on the other stack there, so there was that. Let's see what else we got here. See it like this. Iceberg lettuce, not getting grown. Don't grow iceberg lettuce. It's $1. It's $1.25 at the store. If you need crunch water, just go to the store and get it. It's a lot cheaper. And then they got some other stuff here though, which is also, again, we got the Cine Red here, and these are mild. These are mostly just filler lettuces. If you grow them, they don't bring this type of lettuce here. Doesn't really bring a lot to the party. It's a filler lettuce that you just add in with your butter lettuce, right? For a contrast and textures and flavors. Unlike this guy, Endive. Endive is really good. Like, it is nice and bitter. It's got a nice bitter taste to it. The texture is fantastic on it. So I grow endive and I love to throw it in salads. It's just got that just enough to make you realize, ooh, that is something. Okay, next one up is kale. Like I said, I grew kale last year. I'm gonna grow kale again this year. I love me some kale. It's we gotta be careful with it though. Too much kale builds up your copper in your system, so just be aware of that. Now, this one my birds will absolutely love is going to be our black oil sunflowers. How tall do these ones get? Let's see if they're going to tell me. They're not telling me how tall these guys get. So on average, my sunflowers in this area, I've had upwards of 17 feet. 17 feet for my sunflowers. I don't think these will get that high, but we're going to be growing sunflowers again this year. My birds really like them. They love to be able to go in there and just kind of hang out and munch away at them. So we'll definitely have that. All right, next on the list is Swiss chard. Love Swiss chard. You know, this is, so Swiss chard isn't a brassica. It isn't, but it plays like one. It plays really well with brassicas. It likes the cold weather. It does really well. And so I have a section of my garden that they do really well at, which we just definitely make sure we have them there. So now for the bane of my existence. Last year, my zucchini, right, and my yellow squash, these two in particular this year in my garden were garbage, like absolutely terrible. They did so bad. And I'm not sure why, to be honest. I don't know why. It was they didn't want to take off. They just could not get their collective crap together. And the only thing I can think of is that the soil was just still too cold for them to get going, and they just kind of fell under. I also had a rabbit break in. That was another spot. Rabbit was munching away at my stuff, and that was not good. All right, got a few more seeds to go through here, folks. Got some additional radish, right? Again, all of these, anything that is cold weather, we're going to direct sow in April. I'm just going to put them in, and when the soil, the temperature's right, they'll just take off. Spinach. This is one for sure. Spinach, we're going to be growing in here. I'm going to start that in here probably in February, and I'm just going to grow spinach inside the greenhouse. I'm not even going to give it space out here. We're going to have multiple areas set up that I can have spinach growing. I love this stuff, and it does really well. Oh yeah, Hey, good. Hey, so thank you for that. I actually have a whole bunch of. I went and picked up like 100-pack of clear glasses, or like solo cups, like the little ones. I'm going to be dropping them over just about everything to kind of help them out this year, because I've also got the mice are around here too because of all my bird feeders. So yeah, that is a great. So those folks that are in the chat, absolutely, that's the best way really to manage those things. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Yeah, I was so just frustrated last year. I had all my sunflowers, they popped up. I had to leave for a conference. I come back and I'm like, where'd all my sunflowers go? Like, what the heck? And the mice had come through and munched on all of them. So I just got decimated, and by the time I was able to get it back in, they never really did take off. So again, we're working through, if you haven't hopped on here, is basically this 55 pack from Amazon. It's from Organo Republic. So far, I really like it, and it's supposed to have a good germination rate. We'll see how it goes. So we got this radish as well. I'm gonna do radishes for my mom. She likes those. Okay, next one here, we got yet another brassica. We got cauliflower. Cauliflower is definitely on the list. This is snowball. Interesting. Let's see here, for the last frost date. Yeah, whatever. If I wait till the last frost date here in Michigan, we're not gonna have anything, right? Sugar pots. So these peas, we're gonna be going crazy with peas this year. I've got basically what I'm gonna be doing is using some old gutters, and I'm gonna be filling up gutters with potting soil to get my peas started. And I'm gonna take them out in one big group and just kind of slide them down into the sections into I want to say here the what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Why can't I think of the word here? The area basically with the support structure that I got for my peas here. So pretty excited about that. Celery. Again, celery is another one of these things here, folks. You can grow it, you really can, but it's cheap. Just get it from the store. You know, I mean, if you want to grow it by all means, but like, celery is really cheap. So when you're looking at your overall square footage that you have in your garden, what can you do to maximize your yield? You know, celery grows here, and you know, that's it. It's one of the reasons I like lettuce, though, because you can keep turning lettuce throughout the season. It's kind of nice. So then last couple things we're gonna get into here is gonna be our I got some squash. I got some other squash that I'm going to be growing this year. I do like to just grow squash because you can immediately either use it for decoration, but I like to use them for a lot of soups. That's where mostly I do with my squash when I grow them. Those hardy winter type ones. Okay, so the last ones we got here, and I've got other tomatoes that we'll be growing, but this is a hardy beefsteak. I love beefsteak. They're one of my favorite ones to grow, just because they're so good just to have by themselves, just in a salad. The hardiness that they bring, if you have you get a lot of tomato, like a lot of tomato for what you do with beefsteak. So big fan there. And then not sure what type of cherry tomato I'm going to be growing this year. This is one that came with there. I may pick up some other varieties. I'm only going to do maybe at the most maybe four cherry tomato plants this year, maybe 5. The rest of I have basically spacing for, 7 times 8, that's 56. So the rest of basically 49 spots that I have for tomatoes, they're going to be a mixture between some Romas and some Bush tomatoes for canning purposes. But you always want to have some stuff that's kind of growing quick too. So I got some early bird hybrids that I'll just have out there so I can start slicing as soon as possible. Like I said, they've got the Roma tomatoes here, but I have some other tomatoes that I already have ordered that'll be out here. So, okay. So that covers all of the seeds that we had in this Amazon pack that I ordered. Again, it's all organic and heirloom, non-GMO, which we love to see here. So again, just stay tuned, guys. You want to see how this goes. I've got my lighting set up. I've got my first couple trays that I'll be taking care of here. Probably this weekend, I'll be out here going live to start the process for planting and germinating these. It's February as far as I'm concerned, so I'm ready to get started. To at least get some stuff going here in the greenhouse. So thank you to everybody who stopped in here. Hey, no, I appreciate you. Thank you. Hopefully I earned your subscription today. And hopefully you come back around. As always, if you guys have questions, I'll answer what I know, but throw questions in the chat. My chat, as we get going, it's still a little early, but as more people get back on the habit of hopping on here, we have folks that are in here answering questions all the time for each other. If you have an idea for a link or something, throw it in there. So with that, I'm going to take off. I appreciate y'all swinging by today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.